everyone, and welcome to your December in-service. I hope that you're all having a lovely holiday season, and thank you to those of you who are working the holidays this year. I thank you, our patients thank you, and especially those who are going to be receiving our valuable products a day after Christmas, a day after Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for taking the time to be at work with your donors and collecting those life-saving products for those who need them. We really appreciate that. I wanted to take some time today to talk about some of the changes that our fixed sites are going to be going under geographically over the next month or so. Starting on January 6th, we are going to be changing to a 6-division model to better match what is going on in the mobiles and to better match the chapter side of operations. As you may or may not be aware, we are eventually moving to a One Red Cross mentality. And what that means is that in certain areas, chapter and biomed are going to be working really closely together in order to create a cohesive portfolio of the products that we have available to the public. So that means that chapter may be able to talk with one of their clients about hosting a blood drive. We may be able to have a CPR class at one of our blood drives or with someone that we currently partner with for a blood drive. So it really makes a lot of business sense for us to go together and move forward in this way. So in order to better do that, we're trying to align our regional boundaries to match chapters, and chapters trying to align theirs to match ours. So you may have seen an announcement, I did talk about it a few videos ago, where instead of having our old regional names, we're moving more towards a state-bound structure. That isn't true in all areas, but it's true in most of our areas. So Badger Hawkeye, for example, is now going to be called the Wisconsin region. Heart of America is going to be called Illinois. So you can kind of see a theme there. For some of our states that have bigger donor bases, we're actually splitting those states into 2 regions, perhaps. So for Ohio, for example, Western Lake Erie and Northern Ohio are actually going to make up the Ohio North region. Then we're going to have Columbus make up Ohio South. Great Lakes and Southeast Michigan are going to be part of Michigan. And Indiana, Ohio will be part of Indiana. We have our 3 sites currently in C1 out of Missouri, Illinois. That's Jefferson City, Columbia, and Effingham are going to be part of Missouri. So Missouri, Arkansas, actually, sorry. So I mean, you can kind of see the theme there. It's pretty logical how we did that. And that took place in October. Some of you probably haven't even noticed a difference. It doesn't impact union contracts. It doesn't impact what we call you in union contracts or really what we call you locally for the most part. But it has changed our reporting a little bit. So if you get, and most of you probably don't see certain reports that come out, but now we search for Flint, Michigan, for example. We don't search for it as part of Great Lakes. We search for it as part of Michigan. So that's more of just an FYI to you. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't impact you too much, but I just wanted you to be aware of it in case you start hearing these state names more so than the regional names that we've been used to in the past. So the big change that we're going to be making following that regional change that happened in October is that we as the fixed sites are moving to that 6-divisional structure. So there's 6 divisions out there. We've got the Pacific Division, Southwest and Rocky Mountain, North Central, Central Atlantic, Southeast Caribbean, and Northeast. So starting January 6th, I am going to be moving to cover, well, I'm not moving, but I'm now going to be covering the North Central Division. So that includes Minnesota Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. So Ohio, I'm going to unfortunately not oversee you anymore. And I'm so sorry because I do love Ohio. And the time has come to transition you to Central Atlantic. So Central Atlantic reports to Nikki Brown. She is the director for that territory, or will be, starting in January. And you guys are going to love her. She's great. She's currently the director of E2, so she's moving to Central Atlantic. So she's going to be overseeing Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, DC and Maryland, and Virginia. So what that means for Ohio is that Jana Gilberg is still going to be overseeing Western Lake Erie and Northern Ohio, which is now called Ohio North, and you're going to be reporting into Nikki Brown. And then Ohio South, which is the 3 sites we have in Columbus, are also going to be reporting to Nikki Brown, and James Michel is going to still be the manager there. So no immediate changes for you, it's just that your director is going to be a little bit different. For North Central, Michigan is still going to be reporting to Ahmad Yahya. Illinois is still going to be reporting to Cynthia Berry, so Heart of America, that's you. And Indiana, Ohio, there is a change for you guys. You will also be reporting into Cynthia Berry. She's currently the manager for Heart of America, so you'll be seeing more and more of her starting in January. Wisconsin, currently Badger Hawkeye, is still going to be reporting into Becky Marshall. And then we've got Minnesota Dakotas reporting into Teresa Curran, and Nebraska, Iowa reporting into Rob Campbell. So, as you can see, not huge changes except for Ohio and a manager change in Indiana. So now is where it gets confusing. So these are the changes that are going to take place in January. And actually the 3 sites I didn't mention that I should have, and I apologize, are Jefferson City, Columbia, and Effingham. In January, you are going to be transitioning to Missouri, Arkansas region and reporting into Rick Starks. Rick Starks will report into Joe Freebos, and you guys will be part of the Southwest and Rocky Mountain Division. So thank you for your time in C1. We loved having you as part of the team, and you are now going to be part of Southwest and Rocky Mountain. So back to the confusing part, if you're not confused already. Hopefully you're not. Starting a few years from now, when we actually implement the One Red Cross movement, we are going to be changing a little bit more to even better align with the state boundaries. So, for example, we have Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Eau Claire, Wisconsin currently reports into Teresa Curran in North Central Division. And that's going to continue. They're going to be part of Minnesota Dakotas until we move to the One Red Cross structure. And then Eau Claire is going to move to Becky Marshall and be part of the Wisconsin region. Also, Dubuque, Iowa, and Waterloo, Iowa, you guys are in the same boat. So right now, in January, until we move to One Red Cross, you're going to be part of the Wisconsin region. And then once we move to, once we move to One Red Cross, you're going to be part of Nebraska and Iowa and report into Rob Campbell. We also have Effingham. Effingham, you guys get to do a little bit of back and forth. Starting in January, you're going to be reporting into Missouri, Arkansas, and Rick Starks. When we move to One Red Cross in a couple of years, you're going to come back to North Central and report into Cynthia Berry. The last site on this list is Evansville, Indiana, and they are going to be part of Central Atlantic until One Red Cross, and then they're going to move up into Indiana and report to Cynthia Berry. So it gets a little bit confusing when you talk about what's actually going to happen in January versus what's going to happen when we move to One Red Cross in a couple of years, but that will kind of work itself out as we get closer. So with that being said, the other changes that you should know about have to do with our recruitment team. And right now, Matt Alfred is the division recruitment, telerecruitment contact. He's in charge of our production. and he is going to be over North Central and Southeast Caribbean. So for those of you who are staying with me in North Central, we're going to continue to work with Matt Alford, and we're going to still have our local telerecruitment teams based in Fort Wayne. And actually, I think that's the only one based in Fort Wayne. And there might be one in Minnesota, Dakota. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with that area yet, but I will be soon. And then for Central Atlantic, you guys are going to be working with Chaz Allen. So Chaz Allen is going to be working really closely with Nikki Brown, and he is he's the director of platelet production in that area. So we've got some big changes coming forward, some really good ones. I think that you guys will be really pleased because one big part of us moving to this divisional structure is that we'll be able to have one major contact for things. So there's going to be one QA director, there's going to be one education manager. So right now where we're split across a few different divisional lines, it gets a little confusing when you don't know who to contact, or it gets a little confusing for me and the managers anyway. So this is going to be a lot more straightforward. Again, Ohio, I'm so sorry to be losing you guys. It makes me sad, but I know that you're in good hands, and if I'll be by hopefully to say goodbye at some point. And Cleveland, I just saw you guys. Columbus, it's been a little while, but Toledo, I'm going to see you guys a couple more times. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out. You can always email me at jessica.mckeon@redcross.org. Otherwise, have a wonderful holiday season. I hope it's safe. I hope all is well with you and your families. And I'll talk to you next year. Thanks.